What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Karen Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Hey, what's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On Hot 7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale. What up, what it do? You in the building with your main man, 360 the poet. It's Wednesday, baby. It's hump day. That means it's time to holla at the homie. That's right, I'm 360 the poet, the homie. That comes to you each and every Wednesday right here on hot7025fm.com and live from my Instagram and my IG live. I mean, my Facebook live. What's up, Denver Brigham? What's up, Cool Milio in the building? Can't wait to get you on here talking today. We got a bunch of folks in the building. That's what I'm talking about. Chanel joined. Mr. Kevin up in here. What's going on with you, big 6'7" tall ass brother? That's the only person I think I've ever thrown an alley-oop to is Kevin Davis. I remember we was in the YMCA over there in Bordeaux, down in Nashville, and Kevin was like, throw it up. And I threw that thing up, and this big tall ass came right down with it. But yeah, we here in the building today. We got a special guest coming on today. Like last week, we had a little technical difficulties last week, so I'm pretty sure we're going to do what's going on. Shannon SHAREEF, sister in the building. We're going to redo last week's guest. We're going to find a spot to redo her because I think we had a little technical difficulties. But this week, I think we locked and loaded and ready to rock and roll with the homie, Cool Milio SHAREEF, founder and, creator of Cool to Be Smart. If you see my shirt right here, there it is. It is an acronym. Y'all know how I love acronyms. And Cool to Be Smart stands for conscious, open-minded, optimistic, loving, successful, mindful, authentic, respected, and talented. Not just having respect, but being respected. It's cool to be respected. It's cool to be talented. Cool to be authentic, mindful, and successful. So those are the things we're going to talk about today because we are on part 2 of our series, Sacrifice for Success, where I just had an epiphany one day that I wanted to talk to some of the people who I find to be successful in the world and kind of pick their brain and ask them a couple of questions, bring them on here for about 10, 15 minutes, pick their brain, ask them about 5, 6 questions to see what it was that they had to sacrifice in order to get where they got at where they are right now. What's up, Jorge? What's up, Stacy Lynn? What's going on, Breezy Spencer? Got to have everybody on here checking us out today. So without further ado, am I ready over there, engineer, to bring my guest on? So without any more waiting, I'm going to bring him on here, my partner, my brother from another mother. I've been knowing this guy for damn near, it'd be 30 years, man. 30 years we've been hanging tight, hanging like a hubcap in the fast lane with this here brother. I'm going to bring him on right now, none other than Reginald RJ Cool Mill SHAREEF. So let's bring him on here. Y'all give y'all a round of applause out there in any way y'all can. Say what's up to the homie as he pops onto the screen. Some of y'all out here in Instagram land may not be able to see him, but I see him over there. I got Cool Millio. What's the dealio, baby?
What's the dealio?
How you feeling, brethren?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, baby. I hear you loud and clear. That's what's up. What's going on with you, man?
I put on my glasses like yours. These look just like yours.
Yeah, that's what's up. You gotta be studious. Gotta be, because it's cool to be smart. You feel me?
Yeah.
I threw on the Pittsburgh hat for you today. Yeah,
I see.
You see that? You see that? I threw in that Pittsburgh P for you today, bro. So we in this thing like a wedgie, man. So glad to have you here, bro. I appreciate you. I know you're a busy man. So I know you carved out a few moments of your time today for me. So I look at that SHAREEF logo back there. Look at that crest. I'm loving it, man. So, if ain't nobody else told you, brother, it's somebody out here watching how you move, man, and vicariously living through you and scooping up some of these gems and jewels that you dropping down. I see it out there. Everybody, you got to put your brand out there. For anybody who don't know, this is one of the first people told me, man, you got to work on your brand, Willie Einstein. You got to work on your brand, And so that's where the Holla at the Homie logo and all the other kind of stuff started to come in. Look at that. Cool to be smart. See? Perfect. I think I'm on that poster, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know I'm in the dock. I'm in the dock coming up. I'm in the dock. Definitely in the dock, baby. So we're going to jump right into it. Again, we welcome everybody. I know Stacy Lynn. So if y'all trying to hear Cool Meal, y'all log on. If y'all on Instagram, log on to Hot 7025 FM Instagram, and it'll have us all plugged with the side-by-side screens and everything to where they can hear Cool Meal. So Zach Cole, y'all do me a favor, jump on over to Hot 7025 FM Instagram, and that'll get y'all to where y'all can hear him as well, because I got him on the screens here. He's on Facebook, our Facebook, and on that Instagram for Hot 7025 right now. So we're going to keep it rolling for y'all that's trying to get in here and get into the room. But Cool Meal, so I just told the people exactly what my shirt, the acronym on my shirt stands for. Excuse me. I lost him on the screen over here. But stands for conscious, open-minded, optimistic, and loving. That's the cool part, right? Now, the smart part is successful, mindful, authentic, respected, and talented. Like, I love the way, a lot of, you say also on Facebook, 360 The Poet. Thank you, Shannon. See, look, Shannon SHAREEF got my back like a Tupac tag. That's what I'm talking about, sis. Good looking out. But I like the fact with the R being respected, because, anybody can say you have to have respect in order to do these things. Yeah, it's cool to have respect, but it's even cooler for people to have that respect for you. So I appreciate the verbiage on that one right there. So we may dive in a little bit of that, when we talk about some of the things that you got going, because I let them know last week that you left a major corporate gig, man. You left one of the most prominent companies in the world, Microsoft. You left them jokers, not left them high and dry, because you told them that you had a blueprint. And you was about to make your way up out that thing, and so you started Krieg, which is, you know what I mean? You also started, you got Cool as to Be Smart. Like, you got a bunch of balls that you juggling in the air, man. So, in order to be able to create this type of performance in life, my first question to you was what was the most significant sacrifice that you had to make in order to pursue those career goals? Like, what did you have to just give up to say, you know what, this is where I'm starting, and I know I got to leave this behind me in order to get where I'm going? Do you have a benchmark where that is, or you a couple of things? Let us know a little bit about that, because I'm pretty sure some people want to know what they may have to sacrifice as well.
Yeah, I would say you will have to give up a loser mindset. You have to give up that ability or that instinct in you that's just telling you to quit. You got to give up that sleep, right? When you're sitting there and you're bored and you ain't got nothing to do and you're BSing yourself through life, scrolling on Instagram or social media, you got to really be able to determine, what can I do, right, in order to put my best foot forward? And that requires focus, that requires grit, that requires determination, and it also requires that mindset. So when you're sitting there at the crib trying to determine, what am I going to do today, right? Do I just fall asleep because I'm so tired, my 9 to 5, and kick my butt? Or should I get up and put another extra couple hours into myself or into my own businesses or entities to make myself successful? So right. That I would say that I had to, to sacrifice in order, to get to where, I've been able to get to.
Okay. One of the main things I pulled out of that was, of course, you said the first thing you said was give up that loser mindset. But then the next thing I wrote down, like to put it in my mind, where one of the things you gave up was, I said, gotta quit quitting. You know what I mean? Like, you have to quit quitting. That's one sacrifice you had to make. Sacrifice your quitter attitude to say, like, you know what, forget it. If it's not working, then I'm going to just move on to something else. Like, if you just had to stay steadfast, for lack of better phraseology, and have that stick-to-itiveness and quit quitting. Is that? Am I summarizing that correctly for you?
That's exactly what it is, Brethren.
Okay, beautiful, 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 and I appreciate you dropping that because again, it's you brought it because when you started this journey, there was no such thing as Facebook, there was no such thing as Instagram, there was no social media, so that as a distraction wasn't part of what was a hindrance to you. So I appreciate that you brought it forward to those that may be the number one hindrance of, like to get on there and scroll. Sometimes it's quicksand, and it takes away all your productivity. You know, but sometimes if you're getting on there and you marketing and you making your money on there, then that's working for you. Then it's worth your time on there is worth it. So I appreciate that. Okay. All right. So now with that, with the being able to quit quitting and giving up that loser mindset, if I were to ask another question, it would be like, can you describe a time like when you had to choose between your personal life and your professional advancement? Like, how did you make that decision? Like when it came down to like, you know, these are things I want to do for myself, but the person that I'm chess moving to get to become wouldn't do that, wouldn't make those moves. How did you make that decision between your personal advancement and your personal life?
Yeah, I think, and you'll hear the theme for me. It's all, everything I do is all mindset driven, but it's really mindset. But if I think about something in particular, when I think about personal life versus professional life, I think the most important thing that comes to my mind is when you make that decision to be a father, right? Or when you make that decision to be a husband, right? When you make those decisions, you give up a lot. Like I can remember from a professional perspective, me being proposed with moving, you know, up in the corporation, but having to move to a whole nother city and a whole nother location. I remember distinctly, and Shannon's on the call, but I took a trip to Dubai with my company when I was doing business there, and I stayed over there for almost a month and fell in love with the country. You know, and at this point, Shannon and I, you know, we were together and in a relationship. And I came back and I'm like, look here, we need to move over to Dubai. They're going to pay me, you know, 50% more. We get a driver. They're going to take care of our housing. We're going to live this expat life. Like, it's going to be special and different. This is before kids. And I'm like, this is what we're going to do to make it happen. And she's like, no, I'm not going over to no dang on Dubai. You're like, man, you know what I mean? So you do have those moments, right, in your life and in your career when you got to choose things that are bigger than you and or more important than you. And at that point, in particularly, it was family. Now, if we weren't together and we didn't have a family situation, I would have probably been over there in Dubai as an expat making double the salary. And who knows where my trajectory could have led me, right? But the most important thing is in this case, when you have family, when you have a special someone in your life that you're looking to make the ultimate commitment with, all of those things, you know, go into your decision-making process. And for me, it was really a beautiful thing for me to choose family over the company in that specific instance. There's been many more, but that's one in particular that I can think about.
Okay, you almost was Mil Khalifa. You about to be over there.
Exactly.
You about to be over there on the top of the building looking down over everybody, man. I could picture you just doing a whole video up on top. Cause I ain't mentioned the fact he does music too. You know what I mean? He was out here in Vegas visiting one time, and he forget that the homie keep everything. I keep everything. And I popped, hit play on the radio, and it was one of his duality. It was his duality CD. So there it was in that order. So I got a chance to show Mil like all of the stuff that you do, man, is being watched and paid attention to, brother, and it's very, very, very inspirational. Okay, so all right, so we've gotten past like the quitting, right? Then we went to the next thing. There was one of the major decisions was family versus like career development, career pursuits of higher, career activities, right? So now after that, right now, I know it's difference between like, okay, all right, I got to stop doing this, stop doing that. I got to not be a quitter and I have a quitter mindset. Now, what about any hobbies or passions? Like I said before, you do music. So did you have to put any of those things on the back burner, or did you find a way to navigate simultaneously with those things? Did you have to give up any hobbies or like any passions that you had in order to focus on your career?
Yeah, that's a good one. And I would say you said it, but music is it. So I was in a corporate career, I'm progressing, really well through this corporate career. and I was still doing music. I subscribed to a concept called double dip. I think everybody should use their 9 to 5 to fund their dream. So all my life, I've been doing that, and music has been one of those double dip principles. So I'm pursuing music as a solo artist, and as a part of my group Casino, and as a part of my hip hop family as well, Hood Fellas. So we would be literally 9 to 5. I'm going to work, and then at 10 o'clock till 2 in the morning for good portions of the week, we're out performing, we're out traveling, going somewhere, doing something, music related. But the issue that I had is that my corporation wasn't too accepting of that. So the corporation I was in, if they ever found out that I was a rapper, they wouldn't have been supportive, right, of me and my career advancement. It just didn't align at all with that culture, that corporation. So when I think about any hobbies or passions that I had to give up to focus on my career, it was music. And I remember in particular, we had a record deal in front of us, the paperwork from Atlantic Records. And they gave us the paperwork. I had my father, who's a lawyer, evaluate that paperwork. And
shout out Big Reggie.
Yeah, shout out to Reggie Bridges. We laughed and ripped it up and tossed it and was like, I make more money as a corporate, technologist than I would have been making as a rapper. And I also had to realize that, 99% of every rapper or person in music that you see aren't successful. You think about the TLCs in their heyday and the Tony Braxtons, when they filed for bankruptcy, they were made $100,000 a year. I was making $100,000 a year being a software, engineer. So the choice ended up being pretty evident that I needed to focus on that professional career and still find a way to do music like low key without it being so big and grand that it would affect, the real bag in the 9 to 5.
Right.
Really had to sacrifice that.
Okay, that's dope, because to make that decision to some people is harder, because I know music, like you say, your passions are your heart, but you had to use your head over your heart in order to be able to kind of decipher like what was best for the long run, because that's what we're looking at right now. What's up, Sapphire Gardner? Good to see you in there, homegirl. But like that was good for that was a good example for some people who may be what you say like double dipping, like you said, you had a group, you had a conglomerate, like, so say between the Hood Fellas and between Casino with you and Spady, and you know what I mean, like, and then of course your own solo projects, so it was you not only had to take into the consideration of you and your future, but also those that were rocking and rolling with you in those endeavors. So that had to be a tough decision to make, because it wasn't just solely for you,
Absolutely.
What up, James Slim with the tilted brim? Again, good to have you on here, homeboy. Yeah, people chiming in, they checking you out over here. I told you, people that are taking notes. And again, I thank everybody out there that's tuning in to Holla at the Homie, that's checking out this Sacrifice for Success. We on here with Reginald Cool Mill SHAREEF, founder and creator of It's Cool to Be Smart, KRIG. What else you got going on? The SHAREEF, he got... what else? You got Scholarship Foundation, the Mr. TSU Scholarship Foundation. My man got, like I say, he juggling like a circus act. Like, I don't know how he does it, man. I don't know how, bro. I have no idea. But we trying to chip away a little bit at it just to see how he thinks and tinkers on the inside. So we're gonna continue on with a couple more questions. I know you, like I said, I know you got somewhere to be. And again, I appreciate you for just chiseling out some time for us. We talked about
time, whatever you need.
All right, no doubt, baby. So we talked about like the significant sacrifices. We talked about like you describing a time when you chose between personal life and professional life. We dove into what hobbies and passions that you wanted to get rid of, though. But now, with the stage you went into in this part of your life, because I'm gonna just call it your life, because your career, working in corporate America is behind you now. So I'm gonna say this transition in your life, how did like your family and friends react to like this new, like, I know you didn't just drop it on Shannon like that, because I know, that's your partner, you know what I mean? Things like that. So, but like, I know it's other people that are in your circle, like the Points of the world, or like the Keith Kanes, like people who, been, rock with you like 4 flats, like the Me's, like how did how did you look at that as how those of us in your world from the other side were taking it? Not that it made a difference, but how did we receive it? How did those around you receive it, in your opinion?
Yeah, I would say mostly all of it was received in joy and excitement. I think in particular, I call it a board of directors, but I have a board of directors of people that are in my life that I can turn to, whenever I'm making these kinds of decisions. So most of it is not just out the blue. And I'm also very strategic in the way that I operate and move, So I do a yearly plan. I do a 3-year plan for my life. I do a storyboard. I plan out and plot out what I want my next steps to be. And then I review those next steps with the people that are, close to me. So you mentioned a bunch of those people, Point, Shannon's, et cetera. So it was no surprise to the board of directors that I was making that move. The second step is before you make that move, and the people that do know me, they know that I'm not making no harsh, just jump out there move without planning, and doing the things I need to do to be great. So this move was 5 years in the making. So when I went debt free at 40, that's when I was able to then focus on all the things that will be my next. So I call that turning my passion into purpose, purpose into passion. So I figured out, that back when I was 40. So I worked for the past 5 years, saving all my bonuses, putting up all my money, doing all the things I needed to do, putting all my investments in the right place. So when I would make that decision, that I would be ready and prepared. So I would say most of the people in my tight circle were like, yeah, we already know what time it is. Go float. You should have been doing that, focusing on yourself and on your own businesses. And then I did have a small slice of people, majority of folks that are like family or older folks that really don't truly understand, because many people tag who you are and your success to your employer.
Yeah.
So some people are like, oh my gosh, are you going to leave Microsoft making, that googly gop of money to go into this entrepreneur world that is really, a high percentage of failure. So I did have a lot of people in my life as well that were nervous about the decision for me to make that jump. So to answer your question, mostly supportive, some people scared as hell, and other people watching, and I would just say this, Will, and this is kind of you and a lot of others included. Since I'm a professional, I've been, at high levels of my professional career for a long time. When I made the decision to retire from corporate America and to pursue my dreams and my passions full time, you would be amazed by the amount of people out there that called me, that reached out to me, that said, Mill, I'm trying to do the exact same thing. Yeah. And not only that, you mentioned it earlier, but I'm watching your steps, Mill. I'm watching how you plow away, and I want to see how you do. And more importantly, I'm going to support you in what you do because I believe in you. So all it takes, right, is to jump out there and do it, and to make sure that you've planned your life to prepare yourself to be in these positions. And once you do that, the wind behind yourselves of people that believe in you will just lift you up. And immediately, within 3 months of me deciding that I wanted to transition, I started a new consulting business, and I replaced my income, my base income, in my 4th month of transitioning. So you can do it, right? All you got to do is be focused, determined, and put the right things in place to make it happen.
You 5P'd that thing. Proper preparation prevented poor performance in that, right? Like, you know what I mean? Right. Big shout out to Shannon Spencer SHAREEF. She said, we became debt free. You got to make sure you got. She said, we became debt free. Right. Big up to Malik, the entrepreneur. He said, yes, sir, my guy. So all those people, James Slim with the To The Brim too, tuned in with us, chapped in. What's up with JJ? What's going on, Gasper Farimo? But yeah, so we continuing on. We still here with Reginald Cool Meal SHAREEF, a.k.a. Cool Meal Me. But but yeah, again, like I let the people know, like we've been rocking like for 30 years, bro. And to see this arc of yours, if anybody who knows you, they know that you came in with a determination to take over anything that you touched anyway. So with that being said, what impact did your career sacrifices take on your mental and emotional well-being? Like, what did that, because, it's a lot to always be like have to be on at all times. You know what I mean? Trust me, I understand that. It's a lot to always have to be on. But what toll did it take on, what sacrifices, what did it take on you mentally or emotionally, if any?
Yeah, well, it's a burden. So I would say to anybody out there that's getting up every single day, grinding, and particularly in a 9 to 5, or you're working for somebody else, and you're going home every single day, and you get that feeling in your gut that is exhausting, that is like, man, how can I do this? And you got to literally wake up every single day and hit repeat and to do it. So what happens is most of us mentally, we do not understand that we're actually going through really, really traumatic experiences. So for me, I'll give an example. Since an intern at my first company, I was on the upward trajectory. So every single year, every single 2-3 years, I've been a part of every single leadership program at my companies that you can think about. I've been in all the secret rooms, all the secret discussions, all of the handshake deals, all of the taps, all of the everything that some of our peers that don't look like us get. I've been on that treadmill all my entire life. So what these corporations did, in my case, they always put the talented 10th or that 1% together, and then they had us roll in almost like cohorts where you don't really realize that y'all all are really working your butts off and you're literally outperforming everyone. So you really don't understand that you have that tax, that corporate tax on your brain. So fast forward, I didn't even really realize it until 4 years ago, where I'm going through my experience at Microsoft. And then I end up having a conversation with my boss. And the ending of this conversation was, I'm going to take a leave of absence for 3 months because I need a break. And it was particularly not even to take care of myself, but for my mother. But the fast forward, when I took that 3 months off, that's the only time that I realized, like, holy shit, like I went through some trauma. This corporate trauma is significantly real. And they don't let you get off that treadmill long enough to allow you to have a full thought, because they know once you've been out for a month, they know, they're like, yeah, this person's going to come back and you're going to realize how much BS and smoke it is in this system. So I would just say, going through those experiences, you realize that it does take a lot of toll on your brain. But that 3 months was the most important 3 months in my entire professional career. I'm talking about 20-year career, realizing that just that pause and stop enabled me to see everything so clearly, much more clearly and much more broadly.
Okay. And you did mention, like, it was like you felt like, man, this may be some troublesome waters, right? Were there any, like, relationships? I know you had the ones in your corner. Were there any that, that you had to kind of, like, let go? Were there any relationships that suffered? Like, even, sometimes as parents, when we grinding, like, sometimes our kids may feel like, dang, dad, dang, mom, like, I wish you were here more often. Like, were any of those things you have to sacrifice anything closer to the chest that would have been more significant to some people not being able to do so? And if so, help us understand how you were able to navigate through that.
I would say I would look at it differently. It actually made my relationships better. So when I was on the treadmill, and like many of us on this call, you say that you're doing it for your kids and you're doing it to be a good parent and things of that nature, but you'll miss that game, you'll miss that track practice, you'll miss that tennis match, you'll miss that birthday, either traveling or doing things for corporate. You'll miss pivotal moments in your life. So when I was able to pause, my mother, who's still sick, was going through a significant stroke situation. So if I would have still been working, I was going up to Pittsburgh at that time probably once a month. And I would spend a couple days, and then I had to be right back in the saddle. Right. So when I took that break, it allowed me to be so much closer to my family. It allowed me to pick up that call to talk to you, like some of y'all on this. Right. Yeah. Y'all may have been trying to reach me and couldn't reach me because I'm out of the country or I'm out here grinding and working. So you put off so much, by going hard and grinding that. You do impact the relationships in your life. So I would say the opposite happened for me when I took that pause and break. It allowed me to tap in closer with my family, with my children, and with my friends. And it really allowed me to become more full, to really be able to go off and do this work.
Okay. And let me get you one more question, and we'll wrap it back up with everybody. Like, in hindsight, everybody, hindsight is 2020, right? So in hindsight, would you make the same sacrifices again to achieve your current success? And why or why not? Why would you or why would you not?
Yeah, I would say I'll use some quotations that I carry with me to try to bring this message home. So I have a quote that I use that says, "We have to learn how to turn invisibility into invincibility." So what I'm saying here is, for anybody that's ever felt like they haven't been seen, or you're the only person in the room that looks like you, that acts like you feel like you're invisible, somebody is not paying attention to you, they're not thinking that, that you are worthy of being at that table. We got to learn how to turn that feeling of being invisible to invincible. So when you're in that room and you're the only brother, or I'm the only sister in that room, I'm coming in there saying, you know what, I'm in here not just representing myself, but I'm representing all my other people that aren't in this room. So you take on that gravity, you really turn into, an invincible being. The second thing that I would say is, a turtle only makes progress when he sticks his neck out. So what are we saying? So for the people, right, that are on this call, me included in some parts of my life, when you're hiding, when you're in that shell, you're making no movement at all.
Feeling
So
safe.
you're feeling safe. You're just in there, just chilling, in your little shell. So until you poke your head out of that shell and begin to move your arms and move your feet and get that movement going in your life, you will forever be stagnant. You will forever be looking around at other people pass you by, and you will never be successful by being a turtle. And then the last one that I'll share with you is, we have to learn how to, I use the word confidence. So the word confident is split up in those two words. You have con, and then you have fidence. So we have to learn how to do the first part, which is con yourself, convince yourself every single day that you're worthy, that you are invincible, that you are amazing, you can step up to the plate and do all these necessary things in your life. So until you have learned how to convince yourself and con yourself that you are great, that you are conning that other word for dense, you won't be successful. The greats, even the most talented people, the other thing that will take you to that next level, the difference between us and them, or the difference between a LeBron and the Michael Jordans and everybody else, is that, one, they put in the work, one, they're practicing, one, they're super talented, but the last piece of it is that they are extremely confident in their skill sets and their capabilities. So for the people here on the call, wake up every day figuring out, how can I confidence? How can I convince myself every day that I'm the most amazing individual out here? And those are the things that carry me and allow me to be successful.
That's what's up, Mill. So, again, just to recap to those that just joined us, we got Reginald Cool Mill SHAREEF on here, entrepreneur extraordinaire who left corporate America working for old Microsoft, app designer. So all y'all out there, some of the apps y'all working on, playing on, the game developments that y'all out there tinkering with, he was part of the first people that put all that stuff together. So first person I ever knew in my life that was debt free. He and his wife Shannon. Let me say they were first people I knew ever that were debt free. You know what I mean? That means student loans, car notes, house notes, all that. You know what I mean? It's a big step. He was that at age 40. So you know what I mean? Again, we thank him coming on here. He talked about how in order to get to where he was, like the sacrifices he had to make was get rid of that loser mindset. He had to quit quitting, right? Everything he done as far as like sacrificing or deciding whether he's going to be a father or a family man versus going somewhere far in life, it was still mindset driven. So again, that mindset has to be on a positive plus side. He talked about, doing the double dip, and some of us out there are double dipping. Some of us out there are putting in the work in multiple arenas, but in order to be able to focus on one, we may have to sacrifice and put the other one on the back burner. Now, he didn't say give up on it, because he still does music to this day. Still does music, so he ain't gave up on it. He just put it on the back side to where he can navigate that in later on to where it makes more sense. He made it make sense in that arena. And we talked to him about as far as like how did his family and friends react? And he was talking about how he had to have a board of directors per se. So that's what a lot of us need to initiate, because most of us want to try to do this all by ourselves. You know, me, I'm a victim. I'm most of us, you know, try to do it all by ourselves. And if you don't reach out for a hand, you know, and not just a hand like where somebody can just do everything for you, but somebody with some guidance, humbling yourself and admitting to somebody else in this world other than you that they're better at something than you are. And you want to learn how to do some of those things. So you have to be, humility is a big word, but only a few letters, you know? So it's like, that's one of the things he had to understand. He talked to his board of directors humbly and program and plan this thing out. 5P, the proper preparation prevented poor performance in the arena in which then he also talked about how he turned his passion into purpose. So that's one of the things people got to understand. Like, yes, you can be passionate about something all you want to be, but until you can figure out how to make that make sense, then that may be something that you have to put to the side while the other things that are going on in your brain are making sense and the dominoes are falling accordingly, right? He said one of the things that weighed the most on him mentally and emotionally was like that rinse and repeat burden. You know what I mean? Like on that treadmill trying to, like I was saying this the other day, I feel like I'm on a treadmill trying to get a mile down the block, but you're just spinning your wheels and you're not going anywhere. You know, you're putting forth effort, but it's in vain. You know what I mean? And it's taxing on the brain. And I asked him, did it affect his relationships in a negative way? And he said it was actually the opposite. It strengthened them, because with the communication that he had with his family and with his friends and those who who he gave a damn about, basically, it allowed them to spend more time with him, to spend more time with his mom. You know what I mean? To spend more time with family when they wouldn't have been able to do that when he's doing the corporate rat race, right? But the main thing, the one point I want to bring back up is the one that hit home at the end. He gave us a couple of quotes, but my favorite one is, you got to teach yourself how to turn invisibility into invincibility. That right there, that was a word right there in itself. Y'all know how I am about on quotes. So that's probably going to be somewhere on one of my shows, somewhere down the road, talking about how to turn invisibility. Meaning, like, if you feel like you're the only person in that room and nobody else thinks that you deserve to be there, turn that into your superpower. You know what I mean? Like that, because you check out this documentary in a little bit. You know what I mean? It's Cool to Be Smart documentary coming up in a little bit. But he talks about the GPS. You know what I mean? And the S in that GPS is your superpower. So that's where you tap into it. That invisibility, even if that's your invisibility cloak, you get in there and you knock it out the box. Mm-hmm. And don't even let them see you coming. But you turn that into your superpower. Don't let that be the thing that puts you under the thumb, metaphorically. And in order to, you don't want to be a turtle, because only a turtle can only make progress if he stick his neck out. So you can't just sit there and just be stuck and scared in your safe zone. You got to be willing to take a chance. Now, are you going to become a prey to somebody out there? Somebody going to try to pick you off if you moving slow like a turtle, but slow and steady wins the race. So again, we thank you, Brother SHAREEF. Cool, Millio, my brother from another mother. Thanks for coming on here, dropping these jewels with us. Anything you want to say to the people before we get you out of here, brother?
Yeah, I do. And, since I've had the ability and the fortune of taking some of the most important leadership classes that you can take, being in all these programs, and I've taken all of these years of my adult life poured into my mind, I packaged all of this stuff and all of this game into a series of workshops. So I'm delivering some of the best workshops in the country, and I want to invite, the crew here to our materials. So the main workshops that we're doing is called Your Mission Equals Your GPS, which means you don't know what your mission in life is until you know what your goals are, what you're passionate about, and what your superpowers are, and what you value. So I have a whole series of workshops where I talk about what those superpowers are. You come out with your mission statement, your mantra, what you value. You do goal setting, and then you understand your passion and your why. So we'll be releasing some of these series of workshops coming up, and I would like to offer that up to your audience. We also have the documentary docuseries that we're releasing in distribution networks this month. So it should hit the distribution channels, the Tubies, the Amazon Primes, all of those circuits of distribution in the next 2-3 months. So be on the lookout for that. And if you want to support our foundation and our Cool to Be Smart movement, just go to cooltobesmart.com and you can see everything that we're doing. But I appreciate you, Will. I love you, brother. And thanks for allowing me the opportunity to share myself.
Absolutely, and big up to your miss to the missus. She put it all on there as you talking. She typing. She got it up there. Mission equals GPS, and I'm pretty sure she gonna have the Cool to Be Smart website. As I speak, it populates on the screen. Big shout out to Shannon Smith and SHAREEF. I love you, sister. I appreciate you being on top. She on top of it. She on top of it, baby. She on top of it. But again, man, I can't thank you enough for carving out some of your busy day, man. Because like I said, I mentioned 12 things that you do, and that's not even everything. So I can only imagine how many more, balls you got in the air for the rest of the day. And it was 6 something, almost 7 o'clock out there on your time. So this is in your evening. So hopefully I ain't interrupting dinner time for y'all as y'all get ready to rock and roll, man. So I love you, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man. And again, y'all, this has been Reginald Cool Mill SHAREEF on that thing. He came to holler at the homie today on part 2 of Sacrifice to Success. So I'll holler at you in a minute. I'm going to stay on here for a few more minutes, but I appreciate you. Give him the cool millio before you. He got his
song is
own
coming
day.
out. I'm blowing it up tonight. It'll be on all the networks in the next 2 weeks. So y'all can do
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you volleying some of this beautiful brain knowledge that you got back and forth with me, man. And we'll talk soon, man. All right?
All right, Reggie.
Absolutely. In a minute, bro. Yep. Love. But yeah, man. So that was much appreciated. Yeah, and it was a great job, Shannon. Thank you for that shout out. But appreciate everybody. All the Pamela Torres and all the JJs and the Car Wash Fitz join. All these people that hopped on here to catch some of this game. Charles, what's up, Chuck? Charles Galbraith, my OG, the former National Tennessee State University alumni president. He just gave his crown up just recently, but he was also another former Mr. Tennessee State, like myself and Cool Mill SHAREEF. All three of us held that crown down at Tennessee State. But again, y'all, so just like Kareem was talking about last week, where she created a play where it was about presence, laughter, agility, and having your yes and. Cool Mill, he's got conscious, open-minded, optimistic, loving, successful, mindful, authentic, respected, and talented. Cool to be smart. So, because if you get when you get a chance to see the docu-series, you will see the breakdown of what it was meant to be, how that all came about. Because, people think it's not so cool to be to have a brain. Well, it used to be back in the 80s and 90s. It wasn't cool to be smart. But with this GPS system that he's talking about in these workshops, I think if people catch on and latch on to that, I think it'll be a great progressive for a lot of us. Turning our invisibility into invincibility, even though it's only 2 letters difference. So again, thank you, Cool Mill, for coming on here. So what y'all got to say out there? How y'all feel about that? How does my engineer feel about that? That was a good show today. Appreciate you for keeping me on point. She got me locked in on what's up, DJ QT. She got me locked in on IG. She got me over here on my Facebook. She make an old man feel young on these computers over here. Is all I got to say. She made me feel like I know what I'm doing, because it's not even me. It's my team, yo. Like, I'm just a person. Just put me on the stage. I don't want to press no buttons. Just give me a microphone and let me go. That is my motto. Give me a microphone and let me go. But I'm going to learn from her, too. I'm going to humble myself, just like we talked about today. There's something that a lot of things you do better than me, and I'm going to learn some of them so I won't be so behind the 8 ball. And that's all I'm really talking to everybody else out there about as well with this series. I do believe, maybe not next week, because next week I'll be somewhere. But the following week, I'm going to do part 3 of this series, and I do want to invite y'all to come on here and get a bar of the station owner / sister from another mister / engineer / teacher / preacher, Icarice herself, Icarice Banks now. She's a married woman, almost a year coming up on. So part 3 will be E, because she already said she would. She gave me the nod a couple weeks ago, so she said she would. So get on here and pick her brain. Yeah, he did. He dropped some Jews, didn't he, Stacy? He dropped some Jews on here. Your kinfolk did that, man, and I appreciate him for coming on here. And that's what this is all about, for all of us to be able to scoop up these collective diamonds that people are able to come on here and drop. They're not dropping them on here. We don't want people to keep the information to themselves, because we keep it inside of ourselves, it's going nowhere. It's not going to help anyone. So for us to be able to have people like him, to have people like Kareem Canty, to have people like Icarice Banks, and others who will have have on here in the future, it gives us a chance to kind of dissect some of the other things in life. Don't get me wrong, we're going to get back to our letters very soon. We will get back to our letters and the Holla at the Homie emails. But right now, I think this is a very important series, especially during the summertime when people got a little more time on their hands and they youngins may be around and may be able to scoop up some of these jewels as well. You know, what'd you say, Reggie? Yes, thanks for the love, y'all. He said, thanks for the love, y'all. Shan, Stacy, Charles, Kiki, and my people that jumped on. Couldn't see who was on, but much love. Exactly. He's showing love, y'all. So all the people that jumped on, Mill wanted to say thank you and salute, and thanks for showing all the love. Exactly. See, people like Kiki, she been rocking with us. We all came into college at the same time back in the 90s. So, and people like that are still around are for a reason, because we all are here to sharpen each other's steel in some way, shape, form, or fashion. There's always something that you do that is better, you know, is more equipped to answer the call than someone else. But at the same time, there's always someone else who can answer the call better than you, depending on the arena. So Chocolate Obsessed 31, thanks for tuning in with us as well. But until next time, y'all already know what we do here. This has been you on Holla at the Homie, the #1 advice column in the land, online or live and in person. So if y'all need to drop a line at me at Holla at the Homie, send it to hollaatthehomie@gmail.com. That's HOLLAATTHAHOMIE@gmail.com. So until next time, take care of yourselves and of each other. I've been 360 the Poet. I'm out in a minute.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On Hot 7025FM.com.